Population coding: how neural groups represent complex concepts. How the brain uses groups of neurons to encode meaning beyond single signals. Why one neuron is not enough. It might seem intuitive to think that a single neuron represents a single idea. Early theories of neuroscience often followed this assumption, suggesting specific neurons were responsible for specific concepts. However, this view is too simple for the complexity of the brain. Most information is not stored in isolated units. Instead, it is distributed across many neurons working together. This is the foundation of population coding. What population coding means. Population coding refers to the way groups of neurons collectively represent information. Rather than relying on one neuron to encode a concept, the brain uses patterns of activity across many neurons. Each neuron contributes a small part of the representation. The meaning emerges from the combined pattern, not from any single signal. How neural patterns form representations. When a stimulus is processed, different neurons respond with varying levels of activity. Some may fire strongly, others weakly, and some not at all. This pattern creates a unique signature for that stimulus. The brain interprets this pattern as a specific piece of information. Even slight changes in the pattern can represent different inputs or concepts. The role of overlapping activity. One important feature of population coding is overlap. The same neuron can participate in representing multiple concepts. Its activity changes depending on the pattern it is part of. This allows the brain to use a limited number of neurons to represent a large amount of information. It increases efficiency without reducing complexity. Why population coding is efficient. Using groups of neurons allows the brain to encode more information with fewer resources. It also makes the system more robust. If one neuron is damaged or inactive, the overall pattern can still be recognized. This redundancy ensures that information is not easily lost. It creates stability within a highly complex system. Applications in sensory processing. Population coding is widely used in sensory systems. For example, in vision, different neurons respond to different orientations, colors, or movements. The combination of these responses allows the brain to interpret complex scenes. In hearing, patterns of neural activity represent different frequencies and sounds. This approach allows the brain to process detailed information efficiently. Representing abstract concepts. Population coding is not limited to sensory input. How learning shapes neural populations. Experience changes how neurons participate in these patterns. Through learning, certain connections become stronger while others weaken. This reshapes the population code, making representations more accurate or efficient. Over time, the brain refines how it encodes information based on repeated exposure and feedback. Insights for artificial intelligence. Population coding has influenced the design of artificial neural networks. In these systems, information is also represented through patterns across multiple units. This allows machines to process complex data such as images and language. Studying biological systems provides insight into how efficient and flexible representations can be created. Final thoughts. Population coding shows that the brain represents information through collective activity rather than isolated signals. By using patterns across groups of neurons, it can encode complex concepts efficiently and reliably. This approach allows for flexibility, robustness, and adaptability in processing information. Understanding population coding provides a deeper view of how the brain transforms neural activity into meaning.